And good morning is 7:04 on this Wednesday, April 19th. It's time to head to Studio B for Coleman and Company.
Hello, everybody. We welcome you on another wonderful Wednesday. Glad to have you in our audience this morning. We are very happy to welcome Bob McDonald here to talk about Cedar Stone Bank. Bob, good morning.
Good morning.
Good to see you
It's
again.
great to be with you. And I joined by phone last week, and Judge Barry Tatum was your fill-in host. And as always, he did a great job. And so I appreciate him very much. And I tell you, who's in my noon Rotary Club with me here in Lebanon is Judge Inslee Hagan.
Yeah.
And I think he's been a guest host for you a
Yes,
time or two.
yes.
And he's a big listener, and I think he listens most every day. And he's a great guy, great man, great family. And,
Well, he has a little radio background himself.
Oh, does he?
And when he comes out here, it shows.
Well,
Yes.
I'm not surprised, but
I think when he was in college in Knoxville, maybe he worked at either radio or TV in Knoxville.
well, I'll have to ask him about that.
Yeah.
I know he's listening right now, so Judge Hagan, be ready to tell me about your radio days.
Well, of course, you're president, CEO, Cedar Stone Bank, cedars and stone, things you find in Wilson County.
Yeah, exactly. That's how our name
Yep.
got started. We're looking for when we were in organization, and we're doing all the things you do to get a company started, and one of which is find your name. And we wanted something different, something unique, something that represented our heritage, where we're from, where we're founded, but a name that would go if we went outside of here, like in Donaldson,
Yeah.
for example. We wanted the name to be able to carry over there. And Jackie Cowden is who came up with this name. When we would meet as a board once a week while we were in organization before we opened, we would finish the meeting with a Name the Bank contest. I mean, we just had sheets and sheets of names, and so she came up with that name. And
Well, you were telling us the last time I was here, at least 2 weeks ago, 25 years you've been doing Teacher of the Year,
Yep.
and it's almost upon us.
let's talk about that. I want to spend my entire time on that today. We won't talk about Simply Free Checking, which everyone knows is free in every way. It's free checks, free online banking with bill pay, free ATM use anywhere in the world. We're not going to talk about that today.
All right.
No, we're going to talk only about Teacher of the Year. Our 25th anniversary is this Friday night, and it's in beautiful Baird Chapel on the campus of the great university, Cumberland University. And by the way, I want to thank Dr. Paul Stum for his support on this program for so many years. He allows us to use Baird Chapel. He puts together the committee who makes the selection of the Teacher of the Year. He served as our keynote speaker for every year that he's been president. We're giving him a break this year from those duties while he and his lovely wife, Christy, will be there. A.C. Wharton, Mayor A.C. Wharton from Memphis and from a Lebanon native, and he's going to be our keynote speaker. And so we're looking forward to having Mayor A.C. Wharton with us Friday night.
Oh, that he'll have some interesting things to say.
Oh yeah, no doubt. He's got education and all over his family, and so I know he's excited about joining us. But when we first started doing this, when I first came on your program, and we started talking about the Teacher of the Year program, that was 25 years ago. We had, I think it was 18 or 19 different school buildings. And, every building has their Teacher of the Year, selected by peers.
Right.
They're not chosen by the principal. They're not chosen by a school board. They're chosen by their peers, which, by the way, is the greatest honor anybody can receive. So we had 19 winners that year, representing schools from all across the county, city and county schools and private schools. Now we're up to, I think it's 33.
Yeah.
So we'll be saluting and celebrating 33 of Wilson County's greatest teachers Friday night. They'll all be recognized individually. They'll come up. They'll be presented with a plaque. Their principal will come up with a plaque that goes in their hallway at their school with their name on it, with all the previous winners. And then of those 33, one has been chosen as the Wilson County Teacher of the Year, and that person receives a check. I can't remember how much it is, Coleman. We increase it each year, and then their school gets a check also. And it's just, Coleman, we do this to recognize teaching and to recognize teachers and the importance of teachers, and I enjoy sharing some personal experiences I've had when I was in school, and it's just a lot of fun. We have a reception area with some live music, and then we go inside in Baird Chapel for a great dinner, to sit down dinner, to serve the meal.
Well,
again, live music.
It was something you and W.P. Bone came up with, and it has been one of the most successful things, and one that long running, and I think it's going to continue for sure as long as the two of you have anything to do with it.
No doubt. And we spent 2 years getting it put together, and we involved leaders from across the county, business, civic, community, volunteers, folks from all different walks of life came together and helped us put this together, one of which is sitting across from me right now. I'm going to bring your guest in here with me, Mark Hinesley, dear friend of mine and Susan's, and Mark was with us from the very beginning of this thing as a leader of the community. He sat in many of our focus groups. Mark was at our very first Teacher of the Year dinner 25 years ago, weren't you, Mark?
Alexa Moscadelli was the first winner, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep, that's exactly right.
The crowd has just gotten, at the beginning, it was, we need more people in here to take up these seats. Now, that's the toughest ticket to get, I think, in town. So,
well, it's a by invitation only thing, because we invite the teachers, their guests, the principals, and then leaders from across the county, school leaders, business leaders, chambers of commerce, all those wonderful folks. So there'll be over 150 people there Friday night, Coleman. And it's just an exciting time. WP and I enjoy doing it. We have a lot of help who help us do this. But, it's really gearing up right now.
Well, it'll be interesting. We're going to be waiting excitingly to find out who the winner's going to be. And sometime in the next month or 6 weeks, I hope to have that person here as my guest.
You've been right here with us too, Coleman, for 25 years. You've always been gracious of having the winner on and talking to him or her and talking about their experiences as a teacher. We look forward to your doing that again.
Well, just keep on keeping on. That's the thing.
Thank you, sir. Great to be with you. Mark, good to see you, my dear friend.
You, Bob.
See you at your luncheon today. Look forward to that.
You and a couple of guests. I see Bob and Susan probably on the list as well, correct?
We're going to be there.
Thanks for the Teacher of the Year thing and what you're doing. It couldn't come at a better time.
Indeed. Indeed.
Thank you.
All right, Bob McDonald, Cedar Stone Bank, Lebanon, Mount Juliet, Donaldson, Simple Banking, simply better. And here at about 12 minutes after the hour, I will officially introduce Mark Hinesley, who's the main man, the chief encourager.
Good morning, Coleman.
Mount Juliet Chamber of Commerce. Good morning to you.
How are you this morning?
I'm doing well. Got a little frog in my throat here, I think, but I'm going to cough and you talk.
Hey, that's all right. Good to see you this morning. Before I forget, he's probably on his way in, but kudos to Mayor Bell. I have to start off, and the traffic light person, whatever. It doesn't happen. In fact, I'm not sure it's really ever happened, but I come from the west side of Wilson County, and I come in Highway 70. And there was one place at Tarver Lane where I had to at least slow down, take my foot off the gas. I made it with every green light all the way to the square today.
Oh,
so I got here a few minutes early. I hit no red lights. So whoever's doing the timing of the lights, that's amazing. Well, great job. Yeah. And I got to the square, and it dawned on me while I was waiting on a couple of cars. It's kind of, people find it odd that there's a round pizza cut into square or into triangles that's served in a square box. And I got to, where's the roundabout? It's on the square. So think about that. But, anyway, got off to a great start this morning, and had a lot of things going on since I was here the last time, but went to the Made in Tennessee building, the ribbon cutting.
Monday afternoon.
Monday afternoon. Boy, that is just absolutely fantastic. There were people there from all over the state, walking back to my car in the parking lot. There were license plates from counties way outside of Wilson County. Lots of dignitaries there, and I'm sure that there are a lot of people that worked really hard that maybe didn't get the round of applause or whatever. But I have to tell you, if you haven't been out there, and I suppose I don't know if it's like that every spring, and I just have never seen it before, but Quentin and his team out there, the grounds, it was like going to Augusta. I mean, everything was painted and fresh, and the grass was green and mowed. Signs are standing up where they're supposed to be. It was just really, there's a lot of people put a lot of work into that ag center.
Quentin Smith will appreciate that.
Well, I'll tell you, he's probably the behind the scenes guy that doesn't care to be on stage getting applaud. But I'll tell you,
I haven't seen him do this, but I'm told that if Quentin's in his truck driving anywhere in the place there, and he sees a piece of paper on the ground, he stops and gets out and picks it up, throws it in the trash can.
Well, I'll bet you he's got his entire team that does the same thing, because that's something, and I'm sure they were going to put their best foot forward with that. But
I've heard a lot of good comments about this.
It really looks nice. And there's another building right there as you're walking in. It's another one under construction that's all studded up right now. So, gee whiz, that's good for all of Wilson County. But
Wilson County Fair, Tennessee State Fair.
Yeah, that's right.
The James E. Ward Ag Center.
And I don't think
Fiddler's Grove.
I don't think anybody screwed that up either. I think they were all very conscious of, okay, we got to do it this, the State Fair, Wilson County, whatever. They did a great job. And at the end, they had some booths set up from Made in Tennessee, and different people giving out things that were made in Tennessee. And I'm guilty of I've had some of the product from the Shop Springs Creamery, but I haven't been there myself yet. It's on my list, and I promise I'm coming, but oh my gosh, I don't think I've ever tasted chocolate milk as good as they had. They gave away samples of cookies and cream chocolate milk, and in the middle of the afternoon on a nice day. Oh, did that hit the spot? So I suppose we got a break, but I want to thank Mayor Hutto too. He comes to Mount Juliet on the last Wednesday of the month. I guess it's his community engagement day or feedback day. He's been doing it ever since he was elected the first time, but he starts out in Mount Juliet in the morning and comes in. We call it Good Morning Wilson County, and just is there just to get constituent feedback, hear ideas, things that need to be taken care of. And then I believe he goes to Watertown at lunchtime to meet with those folks. And then I think he's at the Lebanon Wilson County Chamber on that afternoon perhaps. But he has never, a lot of people probably would have got elected, done it for a little while, and then said, I don't need that anymore. And he has stayed plugged in, and Christy and Susan and Sarah and Brooke, they have him prepared. And I got to tell you, when he gets done, if somebody asks him about something, if he doesn't know, so I'll get back to you. Doggone if he doesn't, too. And he takes notes like a coach or a assistant director of schools or whatever it is. But I'm telling you, we're lucky to have that. And it means a lot more, I think, when you're on the a little bit 14 miles from the courthouse.
Yeah.
People over Mount Juliet and Watertown don't have to drive to the courthouse clear over here. Courthouse comes to us. So I want to thank him and his team for doing that. And we're past time.
Yeah.
My bad. I'm worse than Hutto.
Mark Hines is with us, and this is Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
And it's 7:17. Let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks to our friends at Absolute Kubota. Write it off the lot. Write it off your taxes. Visit Absolute Kubota. Take advantage of the Section 179 tax deduction when you buy new Kubota construction equipment, tractors, RTVs, hay tools, or turf products. Absolute Kubota, 1506 West Main. Now with traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. Everybody was staring at that wreck just a few minutes ago on 24 going westbound. It's going to be just past Harding Place. It's had traffic really extra slow up through there in the last few minutes between Bell Road and Haywood Lane going westbound on 24. So keep that in mind if you're leaving Murfreesboro, Rutherford County, headed towards Nashville. There's a little extra slowdown waiting for you. Hey, Nash Painting Services, all of Middle Tennessee. Ask them about their vapor blaster that removes paint without dust damaging the house. Check all this out at nashpainting.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Simple banking, simply better. Since 2004, that's been our motto at Cedarstone Bank. I'm Bob McDonald. We know that financial decisions can sometimes be complicated, but that doesn't mean solutions have to be. Whether you're buying a new home, or renovating your existing home, or buying a car, or maybe you're a business that needs to purchase equipment for the building you operate from, we have all the technology that will allow you to do your banking online or on the telephone, or you can come in one of our beautiful branches and see our great people. With locations in Lebanon, Mount Juliet, and Nashville, Cedarstone Bank. Simple banking, simply better.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender. Attention Cumberland University baseball fans, where has the season gone? The Phoenix baseball team will play their final home games next Friday, April 21st and Saturday, April 22nd. The team is currently in first place in the Mid-South Conference, is one of the best offensive teams in the nation, and senior Cole Turney leads the entire country in home runs and batting average. So if you haven't made it out to a game so far this season, this is your last chance. Come on out to the 6 and cheer these guys on to the championship. All games can be heard on these radio stations or on GoCumberlandAthletics.com. Go Phoenix.
Coleman and Company here on this Wednesday, and we have already welcomed Mark Hansley. We'll continue. The Mount Juliet Chamber of Commerce Chief Encouragement Officer.
Well, thank you.
Well, we'll say it twice today.
Hey, that's all right. I appreciate it. We were talking about some things that had happened recently. Last, I guess, Wednesday or Thursday, I had the opportunity to go to the Lebanon Country Club for the first annual Wilson Rides volunteer appreciation lunch, and boy, there's a room full of good deed doers if I've ever seen it. So many of the volunteers that drive for that program, and Galen and Kathy and that board, they've done a fantastic job. I've been really encouraged to see that program go, and it.
Like you were the first volunteer.
That's what she says. I've known her mom ever since I've known Galen and Miss Gloria. She is at Providence place, if I'm not mistaken now, doing well. But, at the beginning, sometimes you need the encouragement as much as you do the financial resources. And I had a little bit more of the former than the latter. But no, that's done a great service to a lot of people. And, you think back to the things that have staying power, whether it's Bob talking about the Teacher of the Year or Debbie Perret and SCAN. This is one of those that's going to be around Darrell Wilson and his team at Everyone's Wilson. Those things have a lot of staying power, and I think they're digging a well that they probably won't get to drink from, but one of these days our kids and grandkids, Wilson County, will be better because of organizations like that. And another one that just, I won't say came out of nowhere because it was probably a 2-year overnight success, but the ladies that got together, and I think you've had them out here, 100 Women Who Care. And I won't steal the thunder, but they had their second meeting in Wilson County at Cumberland last night and awarded another nonprofit, very deserving nonprofit, a lot of money. And that is just exciting to see. I think Mayor Bell's wife, Nicole, Liz Nelson, and I'm sure there's others that I maybe don't know about right now, but I just really got made aware of that in, I guess, maybe Thanksgiving, something like that. And they got 100 women before the end of the year or shortly after and have exceeded that. And that is just amazing because people want to bet on the horse. I'm going to bet on Wilson County, even if it's $1, I'm going to bet on it. And then to watch it come in first place like that, it encourages other people. I think, hey, this is a good place to do something like that. And I wouldn't be surprised if you don't see a group of men say, well, why can't we do something like that? I don't know. It used to be when I'd mentioned that about in the office, someone said, well, you all have that Rotary thing. That was back before women were in Rotary. So that was many, many years ago. But a couple of other things that we got a monthly luncheon today. It's been 9 months in the making, I think 8 or 9 months. But we have a representative from the Nashville airport from B&A coming to a sold-out crowd today to give an update on the progress of their multi-billion-dollar renovations and improvements at the Nashville airport.
Well, you take some good notes next time you can tell us, because I've been wondering about all of I would like to know what
it is. Absolutely amazing. They've come and spoke to Leadership Middle Tennessee, I guess, and I've heard Stacy before, but it's just phenomenal what's going on in the coordination and the planning and everything that has to happen to make it pretty much a seamless operation. I think behind San Francisco a couple years ago, it was voted the liveliest or most entertaining airport and all kinds of accolades. But what a huge investment. And don't think for a minute that doesn't help a lot of our businesses and residents that live in Wilson County to have that facility so close. We also, this week, I want to put a plug in. I think it's tomorrow, the Leadership Wilson alumni lunch. That's an annual event. It'll be held out at Tucker's Gap, and Dory Mitchell and all the folks at Leadership Wilson that put that on. I want to give a plug to the businesses. I know there's individuals that they're the ones that get to go, but if they're writing their own check, that's great. Thank you. But if your company is writing the check to Leadership Wilson, I want to thank the businesses that continue to support that program. Mm-hmm. I know of counties that they can't get 10 people to commit to going through their leadership program. Can't even get that many in some cases in the more rural counties, and yet they've got a waiting list. I mean, 30 or 33 people, I don't know exactly how many get in each year's class. Some people don't get in the first year that they apply, and some don't get in the second year they apply. There's such a long waiting list. So that's just another one of those in a long line of things that are very, very successful. Can I put in a couple of plugs real quick
it does
for Mount
seem
Juliet?
like the fact that you have that waiting list would speak of how successful and what people feel about the experience.
You know, it's someone once told me it's kind of like the going to a big event or whatever, and they have that red velvet rope. How do I get on the other side of that rope? How do I get over there? And they've created I want to be with those folks. So, and a lot of work goes into making that happen. And they have faithful supporters, and to everybody that's doing it, if you're a leadership alumni, thank your boss or whoever wrote the check, and then pass it on and give someone else in your company a chance. September 26th is our golf tournament. I know it's early, but I want to go ahead and mention Birthright Title. By George, we're going to let they're paying dearly for it, and we appreciate it, and they're going to be our title sponsor this year.
Who's that now?
Birthright Title in Mount Juliet. It's a Tuesday, and they'll be entertaining Kiwanis on their booth as they get to bring a nonprofit with them. So we're excited about that. We're planning way ahead, and things are going very well.
Where's this going to be?
Pine Creek.
Okay.
Pine Creek, again, those folks are awesome to work with, and excited to be back there. Friday, we have our Leadership by the Book program. It's kind of a faith-based, if you want to help manage your business and run your business with good principles, that's open to anybody that can come that's interested. Lee Campbell and Sam Anderson lead that, I think the third Friday of every month. A couple of things going on in Mount Juliet. I thought I'd give you an update. As of the end of March, we have had 60 new business licenses in Wilson County since the beginning of the year, since January 1st. And it's pretty phenomenal, really. Now, I don't really think that's going to slow down anytime soon, because there's Judd Sellers, our friend. He's great for not just Wilson County, but he's got interests, seems like, all over the region, and just an incredible man. Actually, he was our businessman of the year this year, if I'm not mistaken. He has spent a lot of time and money developing what's called Charlie's Place. They're right at the train tracks, and 3 more businesses, and he's locked those in. Maniacs is a restaurant, the Peach Cobbler Factory, and there's another one, I think it starts with an L, I can't remember right now, but so that'll be all filled up over there by the
but 60 in less than 4 months.
Yeah, that was 3 months. We haven't even that doesn't even start with April. Starts all over again.
That's an average of 20.
I know. It's absolutely incredible. But what's going on? And we have 3 really nice mixed-use developments at some point in the pipeline. I believe all 3 of them have been approved, and one of them they're probably about ready to break ground on. That's out at Providence Central. That's 4 years before the first CO will be built. I don't know how many $100 million they're spending out there, but it's not something that they can just lease it out as they get it done. They have to do the entire thing. Parking garage, phenomenal. And we can talk about this one of these days when we have time. But the landscape in what businesses want in terms of space, office particularly, is very different than it was pre-COVID. Those tall buildings where everybody crams onto the elevators at exactly the same time and rides up, everything changed with COVID. And I know there's some folks that say, oh, that's not really true. Well, I can tell you it is true. And you can tell by the kind of office space they're leasing. Customers, building owner, businesses want things different. And you can 53% of their workforce is now working from home, so they don't need those offices. The ones that are coming back part-time, maybe they can share an office. That entire industry is really in flux and trying to figure out what it wants to be right now. And Wilson County is poised to take advantage of that. Proximity to the airport, availability of land, good developers, and lots of customers and a good workforce. So,
well, from what we're hearing in this new interchange, still a ways, but on the drawing board, you're right in line for that.
I sure hope so. It's and you know what? It doesn't really matter what part of Wilson County or even Middle Tennessee. Everybody's got their Central Pike issue they need right now, and there's only so much money. And I'll end with thanking Senator Pody and State Representative Susan Lynn for helping put together an awesome day on the Hill. We took 20 folks on the train and spent the day at the Capitol, and not sure we influenced legislative decisions, but they know we're there anyway.
There you go.
I think we're done.
Always good to have you. We'll see you next month.
All right, thank you.
Mark Hinsley with the Mount Juliet Chamber of Commerce, President and CEO, and again, we call that the Chief Encouragement Officer. Part one of Coleman and Company, but keep it here for more. FM 98.9.
And it's 7:29. Let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks to Bates Ford, low price tire guarantee on all tires every day. Up to 30 days after the sale, there'll be any competitor's pricing on the tires they sell. 1673 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. They're wrapping up this crash over here on 24 westbound, not too far from Harding. It's just a lot of people rubbernecking coming in from Rutherford County up through there right now. It's a little bit slower than normal on 24 westbound between Bell Road and Haywood Lane. Traffic still moving right now down through Robertson County. We're keeping an eye on it. It can get busy on 65 south through Millersville, but that's Sumner County, that small section of Sumner County. It's a little bit slow down through there right now on 65 southbound. Princess Hot Chicken is catering. They're online with that menu. Check it out, princesshotchicken.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Have you ever wondered what the ministry of Jesus was really like? Now, thanks to Angel Studios, you can get a glimpse. The most successful crowd-funded series in history is coming to College Hills. By now you've heard of or seen snippets of The Chosen, but maybe a busy schedule has kept you from enjoying it without interruption. Sunday afternoon, College Hills will be hosting this outstanding portrayal of the life and ministry of Jesus. There will be no formal worship time or collection. The event is free and open to the whole family. Following the showing, there will be a Q&A led by members of College Hills and other faith communities. Join us for light snacks and beverages at 4:30 p.m. and for the 1-hour showing at 5 p.m. Reignite your passion for the Savior of the world and expand your knowledge of His mission. Once again, that's Sunday afternoon, 5 p.m. at the College Hills Church of Christ on Leeville Pike in Lebanon, Tennessee. Come and see for yourself. Visit collegehills.org for more information.
It's going to start feeling more like summer than spring for today and tomorrow. We're climbing out of the 50s first thing, heading for a high of 83 this afternoon. We will drop back into the 50s overnight and then look for a high of 84 on Thursday. This weather forecast is brought to you by Walker Auction and Realty, professional auction and real estate services. Get top dollar for your home, land, or personal property. Log on to MikeWalkerAuctions.com. They know auctions. That's a look at your forecast. I'm number one Ned.
Coleman and Company, welcome to part two. It is a beautiful Wednesday morning, and we welcome you to part two, our second half. And we welcome Dave Hurst, who's the branch manager for Hurst Reynolds at 1325 West Main here in Lebanon. Good morning.
Good morning, Coleman.
You're talking about the weather's been nice this week. Business, no doubt's picked up. You're a busy guy.
It is, yeah. We've been blessed to have actually, almost a full week without rain. So, people will be able to get in and get a lot of stuff done. Mulch has been flying out the door, pine straw, seed, and, guys coming in, getting tillers. So, it's been a very brisk week.
And that's one of the things over the years we haven't talked that much about the rental of tillers, because I guess I always assumed, well, everybody's got one, but they don't.
Yep.
Or maybe they need an extra one.
Yeah, and we carry 3 different variations, from like your small Manus tillers to your mid tine, and then even to like your heavy duty rear tine, which is great if you've got a new piece you want to turn into a garden and you've never tilled it before. The rear tine is what you're going to want to use.
Yeah, yeah. Well, they don't shake you as much.
That's right. Now I always say they're the easiest ones to use. So yeah.
Well, if somebody needed one of those today, you think you'd have one available?
Oh yeah, yep. I just looked at inventory before you left. We're doing really well in tillers. So yeah.
Yeah. But if you need one today, I would suggest that you call 443-RENT right now and get it before if you really want it today.
Yep. That and weekends are big for us too. So if you want to plan your weekend out and give us a call, we can make a reservation for you. We're still offering the same thing as Absolute Rental did, like the weekend deal. So pick it up Friday night, bring it back Monday morning. It's just billed at a one-day rental.
Oh, well, that's great. That's great. And of course, would you deliver just a tiller if somebody needs that?
We can if we need to. Most people will pick them up themselves, but if we need to bring a tiller out too, we will. Sure.
Well, they fit pretty well in the pickup truck, so
they do.
You probably can pick it up yourself, but if you need it, it's there for you.
That's
for
exactly
a nominal
right.
fee, of course. It takes a little while to have somebody take that truck and deliver it, and then go pick it up when you get through.
Yep. Exactly.
Well, you're talking about the straw and seed and all of this. A lot of people are into that, aren't they?
They are.
Lawns especially.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've noticed we carry a pretty heavy inventory of straw blowers, so I feel it's a great combination. Guys come in, get a straw blower, and we've got the straw there as well. We keep the seed there as well, so you can kind of get the whole thing. We'd have a trailer you can put everything on if you need to, so we can get you serviced.
Well, do you, if somebody is kind of new at this and maybe needs a little instruction or suggestion as to how to do it, you got somebody that can offer some advice?
We do, yeah. A lot of the guys there have a varied background. I myself, in my younger years, spent 8 years in landscaping, doing everything from seeding, hydro seeding to retaining walls. So, I can kind of speak the lingo when it comes to the landscape and that side of things. And we have guys who've had experience in contracting. So, yeah, pretty much anything that you can throw at us, we either can get someone that can get you an answer, or we'll find the answer for you.
And one of the other good things that you have continued, the tradition that Philip started, is to ask some questions when people want to talk about renting a piece of equipment, to make sure you're going to get what they need, not only that they know how to use it, but to know what they're getting and getting the right piece to start with.
Oh, yeah. We will always going to ask questions. I would say probably half a dozen questions just to get a feel for what you're doing, because, in your head, if someone who's never done it before, you might think this would be the best way to do it. We might say, hey, this is going to be an easier way if you use this type of equipment instead. So, yes, we generally love to know what you're doing and try to help you out and make sure you're getting the best piece.
And you people there, you have quite a bit of experience. I'll bet most of those tools and pieces of equipment, they've operated a little bit.
A lot of them, yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you can say that for you as well.
Yeah, pretty much. I don't think there's very few pieces on the yard that I haven't operated like in real life. So yeah.
Well, we do need to mention that website, because you can find out what's available, and that's HercRentals.com, and Herc is spelled H-E-R-C, HercRentals.com, the website, and that phone number has remained the same for all these years, 615-443-RENT. So, kind of wrap it up for us this morning.
Yeah, so basically we'll be here, our hours, we're open Saturdays again, just want to remind everybody of that. So Monday through Friday, we're here 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., and then Saturdays we'll be there 7 a.m. to 12 p.m. So
and again, you can rent over the weekend, and
yes.
that's a good deal. If you take it with you late Friday afternoon and bring it back early Monday morning, you only charge 1 day.
Just a 1 day fee. Yep.
All right.
Yep.
We'll keep that in mind. Dave, thanks so much for being with us. We'll see you next Wednesday.
Thank you, Coleman.
Dave Hurst, he is the branch manager for Herc Rentals, 1325 West Main in Lebanon. All right, it's my privilege and honor to have Lebanon Mayor Rick Bell as my guest this morning. Mayor, good morning.
Good morning, Coleman.
You know what's coming up before long in Knoxville? You're going to entertain the Vanderbilt Commodore baseball team.
Well, I heard that was coming up soon. I don't think
I think it's next weekend.
I think so. I don't believe Vanderbilt's going to have much trouble this year.
Well, I don't. I wouldn't. I'm not. I'm not taking anything for granted, and I would settle right now for 2 out of 3.
Well, 2 out of 3 is always. We look for a 3-game series. That's what you're wanting, but. Tennessee's not doing very well this year. I was talking to some friends last night. I think that they're trying to live up to the last year's reputation, but they just don't have the players to do it with.
Well, it could be.
Yeah.
By the way, Tennessee Tech beat them yesterday.
I saw that.
But Vanderbilt got beat by Indiana State.
I saw that too.
Yeah.
And I think LSU got beat by Louisiana. So last night was not a good night for the SEC teams.
Yeah, right. Well, little sports to get us started here this morning, but you have a big agenda last night?
It was not a very long agenda. We were there for a while, though, because last night we took our official council photographs. so everybody was dressed up. Everybody wore a tie except for Joey, which I knew he would do that. But we did have one thing that's important last night on the agenda, though. A couple weeks ago, you and I talked about how I placed an ordinance in front of the council to look at the commercial neighborhood, commercial service zonings. Years ago, they were placed in the zoning code to encourage mixed-use development, and there was a loophole there where developers have been using them just to build apartment complexes. So last night was second reading for that, and it passed unanimously. So from this point forward, in those zonings, a developer cannot go in there and build a big apartment complex. They have to put in a certain percentage of commercial, and also in the residential part of it, of course, I can always put single-family homes, townhouses, but also if they want to put anything that's could be considered an apartment, that to be smaller buildings. So this really closes that loophole that's been here for a long time. You know, one of the things that's happened, you know, last week, we did have a city council work session, and some people in the development world showed up and expressed their thoughts and ideas and concerns. And you know, they talked about unintended consequences, and I mentioned that I really believe that we've been living with unintended consequences because, you know, this is a zoning that was put there for one reason and has been used for something else. So we've changed that now. Now it's going to go back to what it was originally for.
Well, let me, I either heard or read a little bit about one particular, I guess, developer who had apparently invested quite a bit of money anticipating a certain end result here, and that this was going to have to be modified, and they would probably not have done that had they known this was going to be, and I guess you've got to take that into consideration. But what's your comment on that?
We do, and when it comes to that, it's all about timing.
Yeah.
And anytime you do something, there's going to be an issue out there somewhere. You know, nothing's perfect. Something's going to get caught up in it. And I believe the one you're discussing is the one on 109, the Publix development. He was there last week, and he's developed part of it. There's one parcel left that he discussed that, you know, that this would affect, and he was not happy about that. But, you know, there's always other ways of doing things. We have the SPE process, the specific plan, where if you bring in a plan, the council can look at it. They can always approve that if they choose to. So there are ways to accomplish things. If it's something that we feel like that we want and we feel like it's good for the community, then you know, it's something that we can do. So it doesn't knock it out completely if it's something that's really good.
It seems here you've pretty much, you and the council have kind of drawn a line in the sand here.
It is.
And from now on, things are going to be a little different.
Well, and I want to mention that too. It is a line in the sand, and at some point we have to decide, okay, who's going to determine what the future of the city is? Is it the city council? Or is it developers? And so last night we chose it would be the city council. But one thing I want to caution, though, is this, is that, you know, I mentioned that last week or 2 weeks ago that there are 17 properties out there that were zoned before I took office that have site plans approved. Okay, if they have site plans already approved, they're grandfathered in. So just to make sure everybody understands, there are 17 more multifamily developments that could be coming down the line that this will not affect because they were already in the system. So, you know, we weren't able to do anything about those, but as you just said, we have drawn a line, and from this point forward, as things come in, you have to do it a different way.
Well, these 17 that are pending, is there a chance that they could be encouraged to modify necessarily?
Well, we'll do everything we can to encourage them. There is one thing though on a site plan. A site plan has a expiration date on it. If they haven't really done anything in 3 years, they have a choice to come in and get that site plan renewed or have us take a different look at it. Typically, we have some subdivisions out there. We have some that had never been built and they come in for renewal. So that happens sometimes. So they do have that option. So, but if they do start building within the next 3 years, then, they're locked in.
Mm-hmm.
But if there's a time after that, then we do have some options.
Well, you did say the vote was unanimous on this.
It was unanimous.
It seems like the whole council's on the same page here.
It is. The last meeting there was some discussion. There was a motion to defer it that did not pass, and it was not unanimous last time. But last night it was unanimous. I think part of that is because we did have that meeting, a city council work session. There were some people in the development world who had opportunity to speak to us, and frankly, they did have some ideas that would make this clearer, maybe simplify some things, and still accomplish what we want. So we did incorporate a few of those, and I think that's really what made it unanimous. That we heard some people out, but in the end, as a city, we did what we wanted to accomplish.
Lebanon Mayor Rick Bell is with us. We're going to take a break here. This is Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
And let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks to our friends at Absolute Kubota. Write it off the lot. Write it off your taxes. Visit Absolute Kubota. Take advantage of this Section 179 tax deduction when you buy new Kubota construction equipment, tractors, RTVs, hay tools, or turf products. 1506 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. Still a little bit of a struggle at times, just trying to get past Harding Place with that heavy traffic coming in from Rutherford County right now, 24 westbound. It's been quiet so far up around Whites Creek Pike, there through the Jolton area. Now, there's still a lot of traffic making its way in from Clarksville, Montgomery County, arriving through that area there in Jolton. 65 wants to run a little bit slow southbound through Sumner County there in Millersville. Hey, Snapdragon Hemp, serving up lab-tested, top-shelf hemp products. They've got it all. Edibles, flowers, concentrates. Check out this website today, snapdragon420.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
When you needed portable heating, cooling, generators and remediation equipment, contractor tools, or any other equipment or solution to help you get the job done, you trusted Absolute Rental and Supply. Now that same team brings you more equipment and more solutions as Herc Rentals. From construction and industrial to HVAC and homeowner, Herc Rentals has the gear and expertise to get jobs done efficiently, effectively, and safely. Visit us today at 1325 Main Street in Lebanon or online at hercrentals.com. That's HERCrentals.com.
Gregory Dental Group in Lebanon is a family dental practice located across from Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital. They offer cosmetic procedures, dental implant services, and now featuring new digital dentures. Premium dentures in just 2 appointments. No insurance, no problem. Call about our discount plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Derek Gregory. In my office, you can count on a compassionate staff who will truly listen to you, take the time to get to know you, and discuss your personal needs. I look forward to meeting you.
Gregory Dental Group, 444-0322, West Medora Parkway, across from Gibbs Pharmacy.
And again, good morning and welcome to our final segment of Coleman and Company. Lebanon Mayor Rick Bell is with us. What else happened last night? I think what we have discussed here, that was kind of the big thing.
It was. That was a big thing. The rest of the agenda was some cleanup items at the end of the budget year and that type of thing. But there are a couple other things I want to talk about last night, though. Kirsten Harris has agreed to be on the Lebanon Senior Citizen Center Board of Directors. Debbie Jetson, when she retired, she also retired from the board.
Yeah.
So Kirsten has agreed to take her place, and I appreciate that. As I say every time, there's a lot of boards and committees we have that citizens take part in, and that's a great support to us. We need that. We want that, and I appreciate people volunteering their time.
Well, let me ask or add to that. Just about anybody that's on one of these boards, they give of their time. They don't get paid, and it takes time from what they would normally be doing. So they're really giving to the community.
They are.
They're serving, and it's commendable for those who are willing to do so.
It is, and we have a big book up there at the office of all the boards and committees, and it's a thick book. There's a lot of them, and so there are a lot of people in the community who take part. As you said, they volunteer their time, and it's valuable time, so we really appreciate it. And then there's another thing on the agenda last night too that I've mentioned before. It's called Text My Gov, that the council voted last night for us to start the process of developing this. And really, it's a way for people to communicate with us. And it's a number that you can text, and we'll announce it as it goes live. But so if you're out there and driving, you see a pothole, then you can text this number and say, "Hey, I saw a pothole with this address." It's automated, so you're not texting a person; you're texting the system. But that system will reply back. And if there's more information, it'll ask questions and it'll get it to the right people to fix that pothole. If you have a child that you want to sign up for a sport and you don't know where to go, just text that number and it'll text you back the link to sign up. So it covers all gamuts of anything that you need to ask questions of us or you need to tell us. And this really happened a few weeks ago or a while back when I was looking for a more efficient way for people to communicate with us. And I went to Mike Collinsworth, their IT director, and he immediately said, "Text My Gov." He said, "I've been wanting to do this for a long time." And so we're going to put this in place now. And what's funny is my wife, Nicole, she thinks this is for her because whenever she's in town, drive down the road, I get a call saying there's a dead deer in the road, or there's grass too high over here, or something like that. So she thinks I did this just so she'll have a number to text other than me. But that's not true. I did it for everyone.
I think she's still going to call you.
I think she will. Yeah, she has the hotline. So that was on her last night.
But really, we're laughing a little bit here, but it is a way of communication. It's a way, and if you, especially if you hit that pothole, and want something done about it, you have an immediate way of communicating. Whereas by the time you got home and whatever, you might not. So
that's true, and we cover over 50 square miles, so there's certainly things out there that we haven't seen. And so this helps us. This gives us more eyes, people who can contact us easily, efficiently, and tell us what's going on out there. But also ask questions as well. And I think that's something that's really important.
Well, hopefully it's going to be more than just potholes, but they are a nuisance to say.
They are.
And I'm glad to hear that you're doing this. I do hope people will be cordial and. I mean, some people can be very, even uncouth in the way they approach something. I mean, you guys are people too.
We are.
Even the police, they're people.
That's true. But I understand if somebody's driving down the road, hits a pothole and messes up their car. I mean, if I do it, I'm gonna be mad too. But it's more than just that. I always use that example, but really it's anything. If there's anything that you think we need to know. Again, this is an efficient way at night when we're closed. You can text it. So again, it's something that Mike's been wanting to do for a long time, and I'm glad we're able to do it now.
Okay.
So, yeah.
What else you got?
Well, Briskin Lane, there was a vote last night. That's going to be widened soon. That's a TDOT project that we've been waiting on for a while. And so that's about to crank up. So I just want to make sure everybody in the eastern part of town knows that. And then also next week, as long as the weather holds up, we're going to start moving material where the new parking lot is going to go just off the square. There at the corner of Gay Street and South Cumberland, across from Shenandoah Mills. We purchased that property several months ago and have been to some design phases. We're also looking at maybe expanding it a little bit, talking to Shenandoah Mills about that. But next week we are going to start moving the moving some material out of there to begin construction. So,
do you remember when there was the hardware store on the corner?
I don't. I don't remember that.
Steel hardware.
Yeah.
Yes, I remember. That has changed a lot over the years.
It has.
But it's going to be changing more.
It is, and we're really looking forward to that. And it's going to be a parking lot that's going to look nice. We're going to, have a landscaping and things around it, but it's badly needed in the square area as more and more businesses open up down there. So it's something we're glad to do, and that starts next week. So, that's
you and I don't talk much about the square, man. The square has changed its composition so much.
It has.
Years. Remember, 20 years ago, I'm guessing, but in that neighborhood, so many antique stores on the square, and then you have other things. But it seemed like once the town square social came to where McAdoo's used to be, from then on changes and then of course you've got a lot going on at the Capitol Theater. But you go on the square at 8 o'clock at night, and there's rarely a parking.
There are people, and of course, Bob and Pam Black made a huge investment with the Capitol Theater, which really started off. And you're right. I really think that Town Square Social put the square on a different level. But all the people and all the stores down there and all the property owners who've invested, and as a city historian, I know the stores that used to be there years ago, and I've heard people talk about going to the square to shop when that was really the economic center of the city.
Oh yeah,
and I really believe that right now, thanks to the investment by everyone down there, that the square is more vibrant now than it's ever been in our history, because every time I go through there are people there walking around, shopping, eating. And yesterday at Rotary, we were watching a video showing a picture of the square back in I think it was probably in the 50s. And Mark earlier was talking about the roundabout. Back in the 50s, the square was a roundabout, and the parking was in the corner. So even that has gone back to be what it used to. So it's very vibrant, and I can't thank the people enough who've invested there. It's really great.
Well, I put in a little quick plug here for the Chamber of Commerce. I'm glad their office is there on the square.
I am too.
Yeah,
I am too, and it's a great place, and we still have a good mixture. There's still the law offices that were there for a long time, and but now with all the stores and places to eat, it's really a great. It's a destination that not just draws people from Lebanon, but from other cities to come here as well, and that's always a good thing. Couple events that are coming up I want to talk about. On April 29th, we're having our annual Let Lebanon Shine volunteer cleanup day. So if anyone's interested in coming out and helping us, it's from 8 to noon on that Saturday morning. Just contact Tanya Jones at the city and get signed up, or even if you just want to show up that day, we'll be happy to take you. I think this year our focus is going to be planting some landscaping, replacing some dead trees around town, but we'll probably pick up some litter too. So that's April 29th. This is the third year we've done it. There's the first 2 years have been great turnout. So I appreciate people coming out to helping us with that. And also this Saturday, there's an event that's never happened before on the square. It's called Speedway on the Square, and the folks from the National Super Speedway are, along with us and the Chamber of Commerce, are having an event down there where they're going to have some race cars and some music and some prizes to give away and a lot of activities for kids. So come out to Speedway on the Square. That's something that. They want to be more connected to Lebanon. They operate on our sewer system, so that's I'm glad that they want to be here. There's some banners up down there, so I'll be there, and so come on out to that. I think that'll be a great event. And then I want to let everybody know that tomorrow night, the city council, or I'm sorry, tonight, our city council has their first budget work session. So we're starting that process now, and that's something that Stuart Lawson, the Commissioner of Finance, and his assistant Sherry Featherston, and they've worked hard on with all the department heads. We put together a good budget. with no property tax increase. And so tonight we start talking with the council about that. And so that's always an important time.
How difficult is this going to be? A pretty average one with a lot of discussion, but not too hard maybe to pass? Or is it you're going to have some really knockdown, drag-out sessions?
We always have discussions, but this one is pretty straightforward and simple. We have some new positions that are in there. Now, of course, not everybody got all the positions they wanted. That's something that some decisions I had to make as to what was more important than some others. So the council, they'll probably have some questions about that. We are doing presenting a 6% cost of living increase for the employees. So there'll probably be some discussions about that too. But as far as a budget, there are no surprises in there. It's pretty basic and straightforward. So I don't think there'll be too much consternation over it. But you never know. But we have worked hard on it. One of the things I should say is that the budget that's being presented is a little over $100 million. Now, that includes both enterprise funds and general fund. The enterprise funds, which are the water, sewer, gas, they make up about $45 million of it. No tax dollars are used in that. They are their own separate fund. The general fund is around $55 million. And one of the stats I threw out at the State of the City address was this. About 40% of that general fund comes from sales taxes. So we have to sort of look ahead and to figure out what our sales taxes might be and really project that. And so that's also why it's important for people to shop in Lebanon. And we talk about that a lot. The squares we just mentioned is an important part of that, but shopping in Lebanon is vital because that provides us the money to provide services to everyone.
Very well said. Thank you very much. We are out of time, but Mayor Rick Bell, thanks so much. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.
That's it for a Wednesday. Hope you'll join us tomorrow. Till then, I wish you a wonderful day.